We've been trying to do this talk in particular for the last couple of weeks, so I'm excited and I think I appreciate you taking the time to be here. So when I start a lot of these talks, my first question is always, what was your path to the plant? So what was your first experience with cannabis?
I have a funny story for you. So, I mean, I'm going to just, roll it out like I was going to roll it out with you.
It's Candid.
So, yeah, it was at 12 years old. Yeah, I grew up in the hood in Galena Park, and so here from Houston, Texas. And at that time, that was my first business. I think it was a non-profit, but
Right.
It was a first business. So, yeah. So, long story short, we were renting a house, and there was a corner in that house where there was like a chest there, and I always wondered what's in that chest. That was the owner's property. So I was curious, 12-year-old curious girl. I opened the chest and it was kilos of weed. Wow, like kilos, and I'm like, oh wow. I don't know how to smoke it. I don't know, but I'm gonna sell it. I know people that buy it, so I'm gonna do it. So, I stuffed my teddy bears. I took it to school. I stuffed my teddy bears. And I took it to school, and I sold it. And I would feed all my people that didn't have lunch money. It's like, so that was my nonprofit.
You advocated way back then.
Yeah, way back then. So that was my first taste, but I really never knew how to smoke it until actually in my 20s.
Okay.
I was always around it, my friends would always smoke it, but they would smoke it just to like get high and just lay around. And I was always in sports, so for me it was like, okay, well, they have that, it's a stigma, right? Oh, you can't smoke weed because it makes you get the munchies or lazy or slow or so I never did it until I moved to Miami, and a friend of mine was like, yo, I was so sore, and he was like, you need to take a couple puffs. And I was like, this guy, like, we were alone, and he was like, you gotta take a puff. So anyways, I took a puff, and it totally relaxed me. And it helped me. I felt it, and I was like, wow, this, it's really, I feel the difference. So that's when I started incorporating cannabis into what I do, which is my sport, right? And yeah, so now it's just been, I've tried creams from different products. I've tried lotions, tinctures. I've been working on a female skincare product, but I never launched it. But yeah, so I believe in it. And it's helped me in my career. Now, I know that in UFC we had, in the UFC we couldn't smoke. There was a ratio of THC that wasn't allowed in our system.
Because I feel like with athletes in particular, and some of these leagues will be kind of following up. I feel like the NBA is kind of on the verge of getting there. Some of these other leagues, I mean,
they're no longer getting tested.
Right, they're no longer getting tested, so they're, what I'm saying, it's like moving towards that, which is, great for people that actually use cannabis for wellness and to help themselves, and that's what people don't realize, because there's a lot of stigma there. So I said that and I segue into my next question for you. So as a brown Latina woman, like, what type of stigma have you had to deal with, like, just, because I know in our community in particular, especially our elders, and because of the war on drugs, there's a lot of different emotions, right? So you have some people that have dealt with drug use in their home and addiction. You have some people that have, people that are still in jail right now today for weed, and so it's just a very difficult relationship, I think, in some instances. And so I think that's where a lot of the stigma lies. But for you personally, like, what have you had to deal with?
Well, for me, it's more at home than anything. I'm Mexican, so I grew up with an old-fashioned Mexican mother who, women aren't supposed to smoke, and, women aren't supposed to do what I do. That's a man, I'm in a male-dominated sport, so when when she found out, when I told her, hey mom, you know, I smoke to help me recover, it was like, oh my gosh, you know, oh, you're crazy, you know, that was the only kind of area that I felt, you know, that was, you know, that pushback from her. Other than that, I mean, I always tell people how it's helped me, and you know, I've passed it on to my aunts and my uncles, and now they're using it. They're using like CBD, THC creams, and things like that. My mom even took a puff with me the other day, you know. So so, but I never, other than you know, other than that, you know, it's, I think I hang with people that like-minded people that we all hang out and, you know, kind of understand and, yeah.
What I found is that I'm around a lot of like-minded people as well, but then once you start kind of venturing out, like people are so misinformed about the plant. A lot of people just have bad information. I think that because cannabis has been grouped as with the rest of the, you know, drugs, there's just this negative connotation. And so one of my passion points and one of the reasons that, you know, we're even here for me is about us normalizing the plant for the people that are around us that may not know. So it's awesome to hear, you know, you introducing it to your aunts and uncles.
And even my athlete friends, you know, who don't believe in it, they're like, oh, you know, they never, for them, it's like, I've also, they kind of look down on me, you know, before, not anymore, because I do drugs. There's some people, that's what they call drugs, right? Fine. They'd rather drink alcohol and get drunk than smoke a plant that comes from the ground, like an actual plant.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Which is crazy.
It's
a crazy concept.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing also, and it doesn't have anything to do with it, but when I was getting my hand license, my gun license, you couldn't. I also had my medical marijuana license in Florida, but I couldn't get my gun license because I had marijuana. So I was like, so I can't.
Isn't that crazy?
I can't drink and get a DUI.
Isn't that crazy?
And carry a gun, but I can't have a marijuana license and carry a gun. So it didn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. What's your preferred method of consumption? I know you said you tried different things, and what, you know, the biggest thing that we always talk about within kind of my peers and colleagues is smoking is such a small part of what cannabis is. Like, there's no smoking in here. There's no smoking happening, but this is a completely infused experience. So from your food to your massages to your desserts to you know, the tinctures, there's all these things that are available that don't have anything to do with smoking. So what's your preferred?
Well, I do all of those also. But at home I have a volcano. I don't know if you know. It's kind of, it's like this. It looks like a volcano, and it's the like cleanest form to smoke it. It's not a joint. It's kind of like a balloon. It's a
It's kind of like a pipe,
what it does, it doesn't burn the marijuana, it kind of bakes it, and it just, it's the cleanest way to smoke, but it's like a big balloon and it looks and that's the way that I smoke.
I think that it's interesting to see now more and more people, well, first of all, people accepting and saying, okay, but then it's like the wave, like, okay, I want to get on the wave too. And so it's interesting to see people converting themselves. So that's been good. I'm excited about that. As an athlete, you talk about using cannabis to help you recover. How do you feel like cannabis has helped you, like long term, and just being able to manage pain and even just mental anguish and anxiety from having to go out and fight and prepare and train and all that?
So I want to say around 10 surgeries, knee, shoulders, wrists. There's just been several surgeries, and I can't take prescription pain ask me all the time, so how do you recover? Like, what do you use for recovery? Well, it's a combination of things.
Is there like anything that you would like to do on the advocacy side that you haven't done yet, or would like to be doing to encourage like
Do this more.
Yeah.
You know, be around more community, you know, and community events and people that kind of like educate. Hey, it's not bad. You know, hanging out. We're all good people. We're all responsible. Because that's the thing. Oh, you're a gangster. You know, you're a drug dealer. You know, no, we're normal people, and it involves all of us.
there's so many ways that cannabis can support mental health,
Absolutely.
you know, beyond just physical health as well. Yeah, so there's just so many things and so many ways. I'm excited to be able to have you continue to use your voice. Yeah, absolutely. You know, my thing is about bringing more community together and having us and providing more education.
Right.
And just allowing people to kind of see something beyond